This is a woman-only club that thrives daily. The membership consists of single and married women. They all do the same thing. They tell. Whenever the black woman suspects that her black man has shared their business with another man or his family, she becomes appalled. How could he do such a thing? Black men who tell are looked down upon with special disdain. She thinks that a man is just not supposed to do this. She is a hypocrite. She has become so adept at attacking the black man for whatever she decides is a good reason that she functions as if he is her open enemy, and she packs an arsenal of ammunition to shoot him down at every turn. She is calculating every word he says and every move he makes, examining him to figure out ways to get him to do what she wants him to do. These constant calculations leave little time for positive discoveries of ways to drop her defenses and let her man lead the way. It is not easy for a black man to be motivated if his woman doubts him, or if the relationship is so stormy that it takes his head and robs him of the ability to concentrate. For some black men, his woman is the only thing wrong in his life. She has broken his spirit deep in his heart. Some have developed what appears to be a startling attitude about the black woman being out of order. They have started to accept her disagreeable behavior as the norm and cooperate with her ignorance because he does not think he has any alternative. So many black men have commenced to saying they want a black woman who is 1, financially independent, 2, her own person, 3, can do things on her own and doesn't count on me for everything, 4, who makes her own decisions, 5, is a professional career woman, 6, likes to have a good time without becoming attached. This is not what the black man really wants, but he sees no sense in swimming upstream against the apparent current if he wants to have a woman. It is obvious to him that the black woman wants a separate, independent life while claiming she wants peace and unity with the black man. It is impossible for those two aspirations to occupy the same space or be targeted at the same object at one time. One cannot have separation and unity simultaneously. The real black man does not want a woman who professes any of the 6 aforementioned ideas. In his heart, he does not want this in his woman, but he too is convinced that this is his only option if he wants to be with her, and he has proven that he wants to be with her. On closer examination of the 6 postures of the new breed black woman, it is found that 1. Financially independent black women make life easier on the black man because her wants and desires are so excessive and times are so difficult for a black man to earn enough money to support a wife and family that he generally agrees that it is a good idea if she has her own money. He doesn't have enough for himself. He would much rather be the breadwinner in charge of the money. But if he has a woman who makes outrageous demands on his wallet, he can't compete. He knows she will never be satisfied with his provisions, and therefore gives up his rightful place as chief of finance and budget. 2, quote, her own person, means she demands total control of her own decision-making processes. It is part of her hard-earned independence. Anything he tells her to do or any advice he renders comes under careful scrutiny. Many times a black woman will do the direct opposite of what the black man tells her to do just to prove to him that he can't boss her around. Repetitive rejection leaves him with no alternative but to stand back and let her be her own person, even if her own person is a fool. He watches her floundering about. 3, can do things on her own and doesn't count on me for everything. This includes her happiness, Since the black woman has proven by her behavior and responses that the black man doesn't know what to do to make her happy, he has merely given up the desire to do so. He is faced with the mental torment of knowing she rejects his ideas, but that her ideas are impossible for him to execute and fulfill. So it is best if she counts on her own self for her own happiness. She calls it freedom of choice. The black man calls it saving himself from endless hassles and debates, predictably ending with her having her way. 4. Who makes her own decisions. The black man consents to allowing the black woman to make her own decisions. He has learned that if he persists in trying to convince her to follow his advice, he has to be prepared to argue it out for days. Or he can physically force his woman to submit. Physical force is covered in another chapter. The black woman's loose and ruthless tongue eliminates the black man's alternatives. He cannot out-talk her unless she stops to listen. Therefore,
appreciate
he lets her
JoJo.
have her way. A strange thing happens next. Every time the black woman wins an argument against the black man, she loses further confidence in his ability to handle her because she sees his acquiescence as weakness. All every black woman really wants is for her black man to tell her what to do, make her do it, and take charge of the situation. The black woman involuntarily wants to be overpowered by the black man, albeit she screams like a banshee while he's doing it. Don't believe her. This is just another contradiction in her ever-changing behavior. She wants to be conquered, and whenever she is conquered, she proudly brags to her friends about the conquest. She wants to lose, but when she pits her will against the will of the black man and he gives in, she believes that if he can't handle her, then surely he cannot handle other outside forces that come against her. She first of all wants to be protected against herself. 5. Is a professional career woman. This means she has some type of high-class title and job in some big business company. She dresses in a certain way and talks the language of whatever her job represents. The so-called corporate world, if it's not a black company, is the worst place for the black woman to be because she exhibits the internal conflict of trying to live the impression she gives on her job and live in the real world that exists for her at home or outside the workplace. She, and making a few dollars more than her often routine job-holding counterparts, black men, is geared to compete. Sometimes the competition is so aggressive, she calls it assertive, that the black man experiences the antagonism of being defeated by the black woman in front of the white man. Her independence, strained from her salary and circle of friends, allows the black man the relaxation of not having to worry about her needs. She's on the same track as he, so he relieves himself of the challenge, since by the measures she uses, she is equal. So this is just another situation which permits him to defer dealing with her personal problems due to her insistence on occupational and after-work equality. He knows she will not let him infringe upon her highfalutin work decisions, nor the ones she makes at home. So other than sex, he has no responsibility for her. It's simpler, and she knows it. 6. Likes to have a good time without becoming attached. Is prided by some black men because it too lets them deal any kind of way he chooses, but avoid the responsibility of dealing with the fallout of the after effects. Black women allegedly have become more careful in their sexual involvements because of the AIDS and herpes scare, but this kind of sexual election only applies if it is a man she is not that fond of. If it is a man she likes and wants to see more of, she still gives up the sex or accepts the one-night stand. Sometimes she does this because she too does not want to make a commitment or to have to contend with anything else the black man has other than his body. Her total statement gets reduced to what she transmits in bed. After that, she may have no further use for him. Partying, going out, and sex are the only things a black man and black woman can have if they do not commit to each other and try to build a long-lasting relationship. The black man who knows full well these days that the black woman is filled to the brim with personal problems doesn't always feel like going through all the changes required of him to tame the black woman. So they both agree to just participate in what they consider the good parts of a relationship and dismiss the other parts as just a way to bust a groove. These few surface points are made to demonstrate that the black man is in charge of the black woman any way it's examined, because it is he who opens the channels by his permission to allow her to do the things that she does. This is a mistake, because a man can rise no higher than his woman. The women in any civilization are indicative of the condition of the men. The black woman is only reflective of the black man's failure to do his job, which is to take charge of his woman. So if the black woman is troubled, so is he. No matter how he sciences it up, that he doesn't have anything to do with it, or that she won't give him permission to execute his will, she has lost her memory, and she does not remember. Chapter 5, Social Integration. Dating and marrying the white man. The black woman will date and, as reported daily, will marry a white man. She finds in her relationship with the white man perhaps the answer to all her dreams and fantasies. First, he is removed from the black experience and brings a new set of rules to the involvement. Second, he represents the culmination of every movie and TV show she has ever seen, featuring a gallant white beau who knows how to treat a woman and swoops in, always coming to her rescue. Third, he is an alternative set of men whom she believes can be utilized because of the non-availability of black men. Now that there appears to be fewer black men, and she can't get along with any of them, she is perusing other races to see what she can see. When a black woman gets with a white man, she may manufacture a complete new set of vowels, which she uses to construct her new light and airy Harper voice. She irresistibly becomes ever so amused by his jokes and pretends to like the things he does. She becomes an actress of sorts, and she relaxes a bit because the white man does not know the full story of her failure with the black man. Since the white man does not know the ins and outs of black intimacy, he is more tolerant of her, and they both enjoy the novelty. She can wear as much makeup as she desires, and to the white man...
You hear it in the kitchen? You hear it in the kitchen?
We're just waiting for the lasagna and 3 minutes.
Are you speaking that?
She appears to be flattered and falls into her crisp, bright personality. Her smile is sometimes so instant it looks like a flash of sparkling white snow, blushing and appreciative. If she decides to date him, later on, she is seen to be overly affectionate in public. There may be hugging, provocative kissing, or fondling in public. She is willing to ignore many of the white man's shortcomings regarding wardrobe, language, hipness, music, car, or job. She convinces herself that he is normal, and she must accept him as he is, and above all, he is just another man. When she is with him, she thinks she is finally free. Free of the black man's hassles and free of her own history. She's proud of him in front of her family and friends, or on the extreme, she knows that her social integration relationship will not be accepted, so she keeps it a secret. He is considered special to her and automatically knows how to treat a woman. Certainly better than a black man does, she thinks. She might be willing to fight for him, endure insults and stares just to be with him, and she defends her right to love a white man. She says she is not prejudiced and falls back on the same explanation that the black man has adopted. that her particular white man had nothing to do with slavery. That was before his time. She feels no guilt in being a traitor to the black man by accepting another race over him. She sees guilt as an outdated hangover, which has no business in her modern do-what-I-want-to-do system. Loyalty to the black man appears to her as static sentimentality wrapped in shredded ribbons, and the glitter is all gone, worn out from the endless disagreements. She believes she has tried in every way possible to be with the black man, and each time he fails. And it's all his fault. To just stay with the black man because he is her natural mate is absurd to her, and as her history has proven, counterproductive. Even worse, the black man is irritating to her. He just won't do right. She is unwilling to accept a new approach and allows nothing to cloud her fine perceptions. She refuses to be governed by an obsolete set of standards that imply unselfish conduct and actions made only if they benefit the black nation. That's fine for the public, but in her private affairs, she is coldly analytical about what she wants personally, and in that area is oddly detached from her people. As a last resort, she may explain, "It just happened." Nothing just happens. There is an explanation for everything. Even if the explanation is not immediately known, it can be explained, and it is not new. The black woman believes that she has reached the ultimate pinnacle of personal developmental achievement when she arrives at the point of seriously considering dating a white man. She pretends to herself that his color doesn't matter, and to her, it doesn't. For her to pick a white man as her mate only demonstrates further her disdain for the black man and her decision to not take it anymore. The white man can give her new options, new freedom, and new notoriety. She finally gets her opportunity to play like she is the kind of glamorous white girl she has seen on television and in the movies all of her life. And if watched closely, she can be seen acting out the mannerisms of white women. She has absolutely forgiven the white man for enslaving her people, and the white man has forgiven himself for enslaving black people. But the poor black woman has not forgiven herself for being a slave. Her spirit was broken during that time, and the genetic psychological damage she suffered has never been addressed or healed. Her suffering was internalized and transmitted through fear and anxiety, and it was the fear that resulted in her current insecurity in the black man. She does not believe that she can count on the black man to protect she and her babies. She views the black man as weak and powerless in her world and easily manipulated. She despises him for his so-called big ego and does everything she can to tear him down and make him forget that idea.
What's up, LaShawn?
She has never dealt with her attitude about refusing to allow the black man to bask in the pride of having a big ego.
You
She
heard
does not
that?
want him to think well of himself because she does not think well of herself. Ego and does everything babies. She views the black man as weak and powerless in her man. She does not believe that she can count on the black man to protect she and her babies. She views the black man as weak and powerless in her world and easily manipulated. She despises him for his so-called big ego and does everything she can to tear him down and make him forget that idea. She has never dealt with her attitude about refusing to allow the black man to bask in the pride of having a big ego. She does not want him to think well of himself because she does not think well of herself. She wants him to believe that he is unworthy. She has no idea what it would feel like to agree with the black man about his big ego. She might like it. She does not want to agree with him that he is great. Instead, she chooses to take the white sociologist's alleged research that reveals the bulk of the black men as still shiftless, uneducated, and plain lazy. She thinks he wastes his time trying to do impossible things, and that his goals are misdirected and futile. Believing this, it is not difficult for her to renege on the men in her own nation and try to fit into the race of another. And she is much more tolerant and patient with Caucasians of every age. It is most convenient for her to believe that there is a shortage of black men. Hopefully, there will continue to be a shortage of the type of wimpy, fearful black man she is looking for to control. Since she can't have the kind of black man she can rule, she is now pleading for social empowerment. She wants authorized governmental permission to achieve and be strong, stronger than the black man. She has turned the process of personal growth into a social activity instead of spiritual commitment. The empowerment she seeks is really the right to devour the remaining black men who have refused to submit to her. Dating and marrying the white man is another flimsy excuse used to get out of the inevitable, submitting to the black man. Her new political idea of empowerment gobbles up and eliminates the rules that give the black man superiority and the black nation longevity. In interracial dating, she follows the women's liberation trend in almost biblical divine adherence. She is determined to stay right up on it politically and socially. She wants special rights that will approve of her wrong behavior against the black man. Her violent swats against the black man's right to live the way he wants to are frequent, especially when looking back and comparing her new relationship with the white man to her old, failed relationships with black men. Many black men do not like it when they see a black woman pretending to be so happy and content with a white man. But the mountain looks too high and the river too long and wide for him to cross over and correct her. He has had no one to publicly agree with him about the deplorable behavior of the black woman. It seems that black women and white America are in cahoots with each other against the black man. This is not the way it is supposed to be. The few converted black women who know their place and respect the black man as the head are few and quiet. He has needed a louder supporting voice, one filled with the brightness and resounding echo of pure truth. One outcry in the darkness announcing before all the world that he is right and he is good will help him rise. Certainly the white man's free state of mind, the way he wants to, are frequent, especially when looking back and comparing her new relationship with the white man
Y'all put me on the box.
to her old, failed
Please.
relationships with black men.
Put me in the box, yo.
Many black men do not like it when they see a black woman pretending to be so happy and content with a white man.
What's up, conscious?
But the mountain looks too high and the river too long and wide for him to cross over and correct her. He has had no one to publicly agree with him about the deplorable behavior of the black woman. It seems that black women and white America are in cahoots with each other against the black man. This is not the way it is supposed to be. The few converted
Appreciate
black
that.
women who know their place and respect the black man as the head are few and quiet. He has needed a louder supporting voice, one filled with the brightness and resounding echo of pure truth. One outcry in the darkness announcing before all the world that he is right and he is good will help him rise.
One voice.
Certainly the white man's free state of mind and open approach to things appears more attractive to her. But the white man has never been a slave. A few cases of indentured servitude did not impact on the psyche of the white male in a destructive way as full slavery impacted upon the black
Appreciate
man.
it, big stepper.
So the black man appears outclassed when compared to him. The black man's accomplishments over trillions and trillions of years should not be compared to the measure of success the white man has set in America. There are more non-white or black people on the earth than white people. The white race is not the pace setter, and neither is the black woman. They are both the pace followers. The black woman who does not study or value history does not realize that the time she is living in now is not the sum total of the time that she and the black man have inhabited the earth. Her mega generations have existed long before 2,000, 4,000, or 6,000 years ago. 6,000 years ago are but a drop in the bucket when compared to the time that the black man has walked the earth in peace. She has allowed her part to become remote and irrelevant. The black woman sees the black man integrating too. She witnesses him dating and marrying the white woman, so she considers her part of the contribution to the 50,000 black women who date and marry white men as small significance. And others of them complain that the black man is with the white woman because she is easier to get along with, or that she gives him better sex, or that she respects him more. She doesn't know that he is with her
Appreciate
for
that
one
box,
reason
y'all.
and one reason only. He is with her because she gives him peace.
Appreciate it so long.
However it is described, the end result he sees for himself is peace. Of course, there are a few who claim they are with the white woman because they are getting back at the white man, or that they want to possess her because they were denied her. These are all flimsy and flaky excuses for not being familiar with the word peace. Certainly not all cases are the same, but each race has behavioral traits that cannot be classified as stereotyping due to the incidents that have occurred in their evolution into who we see today. This is referred to as the nature of something or someone. It is not possible for a black woman to be happy trying to be a woman to the white man. Their natures are completely different. Certain black women who do not like the black woman being with the white man know for an actual fact that this same rule applies to black men who are trying to be a man to the white woman. It is pitifully unfortunate that the black woman believes that she can have a better life with a white man than she can have with a black woman. The truth be told, any black woman can have a man. Any black woman can have any man she chooses. Of course, her requirements will have to be adjusted, and she will have to qualify to get one. The qualifications are standard, routine, and a necessity. She will have to unquestionably submit herself to be ruled by the black man. She will have to allow him to be the boss. No black man turns down a good woman. It has nothing to do with how she looks, how she dresses, or otherwise. All of it has to do with how the black woman behaves and how much respect and care she gives the black man. A good woman does not have a special physical profile. When a black man finds a good woman whose nature he is attracted to, he will remain with her forever. Maybe not just her alone, but he will include her in his life. And what the black woman wants is to be included in the life of the black man. As soon as she realizes that she can have a black man, but not on her terms, she will have one. When she reaches this level of understanding, she will not even consider dating or marrying the white man, and she certainly will not participate in the American conversational habit of publicly criticizing her man. When the black woman attacks the black man publicly, she inadvertently gives the entire world permission to attack him also. Because everyone knows that a man's woman knows him better than anyone else. And if she says he ain't nothing, he's not. Chapter 6, Communications. Today's black woman is forever complaining and demanding that the black man communicate with her. By this she means she wants the black man to talk to her and tell her what's on his mind. Despite the fact that whenever he attempts to communicate his ideas to her, she responds in the wrong way. The burden of the black woman's complaints rests on the premise that he does not like or accept the way she talks to him. If she comes at him wrong, All
Some
systems shut down, and he does not talk to her at all. At least not in the open forum type of discussion that she wants. The Black man is very vulnerable when he confides in his woman. To do so, he takes a step into what he already knows is a dangerous arena, because the Black woman is known to take information he gives
I
her
missed you the other day.
and use it against him at another time. She refers to him as unresponsive and insensitive when he will not answer certain questions about his personal feelings or views. The Black woman gets very annoyed when the Black man refuses to let her inside his brain. The complexity of his views often do more to anger her and harm the relationship than they do to promote open, communicative unity. The Black woman wants the Black man to talk, but if his talk is different from hers, she has a problem. If the Black man is silent and unrevealing about his innermost thoughts, the Black woman becomes suspicious and displays a generalized uneasiness. She can't block his idea if she doesn't know it. She doesn't realize it is because of her strident attitude and unpredictable reactions that the Black man declines confiding his dreams in her. The Black woman has emotionally dispossessed the Black man. He has lost the sure-footedness he was created with. Therefore, the often illuminating revelations he arrives at are much too precious for the Black woman's cynical ears. The more the Black woman fusses and complains, the quieter the Black man may become. The Black woman is accustomed to speaking to and about the Black man in a negative and disparaging tone. She may even speak to strange, unknown men in a more civil tone. The harshness of her tone of voice, the shrill, grating impatience, her cadence and inflections speak loudly of her disrespect. She sometimes appears to glare at the Black man as if she is on the brink of physically attacking him. She interrupts his explanations with more badgering, and her disregard for his ideas is so ingrained in her psyche such as to be pathoscopic to her nature. When she is really angry with him, she will stand toe to toe, feet apart, hands on her hips, as if daring him to say another word. She can fuss for hours, bickering, sneering, cursing, and competing to drive her point home with the highest extreme of emotionalism. She absolutely demands to have the last word. She not only uses the sounds of disrespect to her own man, but will use the same intonations when angry with any Black man. Her son, her neighbors, her father, her boss or co-workers, her brother or others. She can become so vicious sounding that sometimes it resembles a savage animal barking. In her anger, she will throw things, stamp her feet, slam doors, snatch herself around, and sometimes go into neutral. Her non-acceptable ways of displaying her anger are deeply rooted in her suspicions. Whenever she catches the Black man in what she deems as a wrongdoing, she uses that opportunity to vent all of her current frustrations. She harbors grudges. The Black man may start out arguing with the Black woman about one point, and in the middle of the fracas, she throws in a few other topics, and by the end of the argument, he may find himself debating an entirely different issue. She keeps a mental file on issues she is in a disagreement with. She maintains about 90,000 kilobytes of negative information, and when she decides the right time, she springs them on her man. The Black woman is not known to practice respectful communication skills with the Black man anyway. She simply does not know how to talk to him. Oh yes, she's a great conversationalist when discussing other subjects, but when trying to have a necessary one-on-one conversation with her man about a disagreement, a choice, an action of a fear, she has a complete breakdown of interpretation of the English language. She can't distinguish between a soft, comforting voice and scorn and contempt. She blows her top loud and wrong. If she would present her ideas calmly and unemotionally, the Black man could deal with them, and he does. But since she is so irrational about being right, she does not focus very well on one point, and her thoughts are scattered and unfocused because she is trying to argue about everything at once. If the Black woman does not learn how to respectfully talk to the Black man, there is little chance she will ever really get to know him, nor of them ever coming together in harmony. Some Black women talk all the time about everything, about everybody, and usually in a critical and gossipy way. Black men do not like to hear gossip. It is too base for him to deal with. The Black man will relate a story to his woman in pure confidence and later find to his dismay that she has told all her friends and it's public knowledge. Or she will make up a story and tell her man about it and pretend that an incident happened to someone else just to see how he will react to it. She tries out a lot of her own ideas on the Black man in this way by claiming someone else said or did it. The Black man has the boring job of paying attention to every point the Black woman feels. Any and all seemingly unrelated information may come back to haunt him in another variation. If she talks incessantly, it is a sign of nervousness and anxiety. She may be uncomfortable with silence. She debates her points with a fervor and adjusts the language craftily to salvage her own theories. If the Black man is so presumptuous as to inform the Black woman that she talks too much or that she should shut her mouth and listen sometime, she becomes sullen and depressed. She will look for faults in the Black man to criticize and get him back. She might poke out her lips or make her jaws tight. She resists any information that requires her to change her behavior. This resistance is nearly mechanical and kicks in whenever she is under attack. She relies totally on her feelings to make important decisions and arrive at correct conclusions. She will hold fast to the most stupid ideology just for the sake of claiming, "That's how I feel about it." If informed that her feelings are strictly emotional and have no bearing on reality, she fortifies her opposition and says, "That's your opinion and I've got a right to mine." Unfortunately, this is not an act. She actually believes that her feelings are the truth. She will refuse to consider any actual facts presented to her or anything else that conflicts with how she feels about something. Her feelings are her beliefs, and no matter how far-fetched from the truth her position is, she holds fast to it. The psychic scars of accepting deception based on her emotions are deep and lasting. She thinks that by agreeing with the Black man, it puts her in a position to be subjugated. She is under enormous pressure to maintain her independent, separate but equal identity. She views her difference of opinion as traits that make her unique and interesting. She cannot give in on issues that require her to change her thinking. She continuously waves her banner of fear. She is deathly afraid of being taken over and being forced to concede. Often, when a Black woman learns something, completes a course, or even reads an article, she will attempt to sound wise. She enjoys the feeling she gets when she stumbles upon something she can wave in front of the Black man and claim she knows more about it. This is particularly true of the economically elite Black woman. She believes her textbook knowledge enables her to be over the Black man. The Black man is not impressed with institutional education in the same way that she is. He would much rather hit the streets and learn things on his own rather than take time out of his freedom to memorize a slew of misinformation which he doesn't believe will help him daily. Some attend college, others attend life's school of hard knocks and gain equal knowledge. She will also try to ask him complicated questions so he will admit that he doesn't know the answer. She revels in doing this. She thinks that her big talk will impress the black man with how smart she is and will make him look up to her. No black man is proud of a black woman who uses her education as a dagger, stabbing him into admitting her superior intelligence. At the same time, no black man wants a dumb woman who is not striving to better herself. Knowledge and wisdom is not always measured by book learning. The life experience and raising of consciousness is much more important to the black man because he is basically searching for a way to have peace daily. So when the black woman talks down to the black man, it is designed to make him feel small, uneducated, and fundamentally stupid. She thinks her knowledge and level of achievements mean that the black man cannot tell her anything about anything. She knows better. Examples of the disrespectful language the black woman uses when speaking to the black man are as follows. 1. Shut up, you don't know what you're talking about. 2. Why don't you mind your own business? 3. You're such a mama's boy. 4. You ain't nothing and you ain't never gonna be nothing. 5. You don't tell me what to do. 6. You do what you want to do and I'll do what I want to do. 7. Get it yourself. 8. You think you're right all of the time. 9. I get tired of you trying to tell me what to do. 10. Why don't you act like a man? 11. You're foolish. 12. That doesn't make any sense. 13. Don't give it unless you can take it. 14. You didn't have nothing when I met you. 15. Your family ain't and you ain't it either. 16. Men are dogs. 17. I do what I want to do. 18. I might and I might not. 19. Why don't you hush? 20. Be quiet. 21. Shut up. 22. You're so stupid. 23. You can't do that. 24. Leave me alone. 25. You mess up every time. 26. I go where I want to go. 27. It's my money and I spend it like I want to. 28. You get on my nerves. 29. It ain't your baby anyway. 31.
Hey, Nature Boy.
What's up?
You know, I actually like you. I know you get a lot of hate.
Huh?
I know you get a lot of hate, but I actually try to understand you. A lot of people don't try to understand you.
Yeah, because, you know, I'm a true speaker. True speaker has no friends.
And you're allowed to believe that you're God. Everyone should believe that they're God.
So you
And
say,
not a lot of men look after women. Where I am, they beat on women all the time. Disrespect women. Don't look after them. At least you're doing something productive.
what? So you fuck with my style.
I do. I've been watching you for a while. And I fuck with you still. I like the fact that you're out in the tropics. Because I'm telling you, where I
That
am is
China.
so polluted.
Appreciate that, China.
It's so polluted where I am. I got breathing problems. Like, I'm asthmatic. So I'm thinking, when I look at you and I see you're out there in the tropics living off the land, like my granddad once done in Jamaica, it just shows that how mature you are and where you are where you see yourself in yourself, how you see yourself, you know? But with love comes hate too.
Right. It's all good.
But what
I like
can I
people
ask you
hate.
one question as well?
Yeah.
What's the 42 laws of Ma'at?
You gotta Google them. Just Google it.
Oh, okay.
Yup.
Is that something you live by?
Absolutely. Try to.
Yeah. Well, we're all human, you know. We're all human. But you're not a bad person. And you know, it's not nice to try and portray you to be this evil devil demon. Cause look at the love. Look at the love he get.
Right.
He gets so much love. Why don't they want to
You in
love a black
London?
man?
You in
I live
London?
in boring, shitty London. Sorry about my language. Listen, if I could, I'll run away to the tropics right now.
Should get back to Jamaica, man.
Should go back to Jamaica, innit? Half of my family's from Haiti, half of my family's from Jamaica. But you're right. We should all go back to the land where we come from. That London Jamaican accent. Wagwan. I think we should spread a little bit more love to nature, boy. Because, you know, they don't understand that mental health for men is a big thing, you know. Mental health for men is such a taboo to talk about. And I see a lot of men go through it. Shut up, your own men don't want y'all. Well, our men need help down here in London. Our men need help down here. You know, it's such a weak system to fall into. It's hard for them. Men need help too. I'm tired of hearing this feminist shit. Men need help. Men need to be built up. For years they've been being raped and tortured and organs stolen and everything. You don't understand what men go through these days. And I've got a son. I would hate for any of you lot to tell him that he can't express himself, and when he does, he's wrong. I'm in Brixton. Y'all very open about where y'all be. Yeah, but aggressive can be passion. Can I tell you something? Yeah, aggressive can be passion. I hate when you lot try to switch the words. You lot don't even know the word you're talking about. These English words were made. You don't even know the meaning behind them.
Right. 'Cause
Women too, but they never acknowledge the plight. Do you know what? My man needs to shut me up sometime. I need a man to tell me to shut the fuck up before he slap me up. Because I can get out of my character.
That's real.
And I'm not saying it as an abusive way. I'm just saying it's just to keep him as the man. Because a lot of women want to be fighting men. We don't talk about that.
That's true.
Especially mental health. You know, for women, especially when you have a kid and you have post whatever and stuff like that, your emotions, you just start lashing out at everyone. No one talks about that. But men get in trouble because of all these laws.
Right.
But we don't want feminists because that's not how it's not meant to be. It's meant to be man and woman. And your man is meant to be over you, you know, protecting you. But us as the women, we have to gear the ship.
Yo.
No,
Hey,
that's
y'all,
over the
y'all gonna
years.
get the frame for the flag?
That's over the years this has
Oh, okay.
happened, y'all. If you
Okay.
guys read
I'm gonna,
the William Lynch poem and all of these stuff, then you guys can actually understand what has been happening to our men. Yeah, but you're saying, but yeah, man, don't run my life, period. But when you have a son, he's gonna run your life, and that's gonna be a man. We should
nah.
live for our men just like our men live with for us.
Yo. Oh, y'all going?
Kids are not gonna run your life, period, right? Hun, my son runs my life. My son is my life.
Oh, Malia's sitting there. Don't worry about it.
And if he doesn't run my life, then who does?
Yeah, just go to the mailbox. Come back. I'll see you when you get
Not
back.
all the time.
I'll see you when you get back. All right. Nah.
Can I tell you something, Beyonce or Melanin Queen? When you raise a son without a father, their son gets very disrespectful. I know many men that's raised without fathers and are successful, loving human beings today and have their own families. So it's not always. It's my daughter's world and I'm living in it because their mothers raised them right. I said with his father, look, if a child has a dad, imagine a child growing up without a dad, his dad passes away. Okay, just suddenly or dramatically his dad becomes sick and passes away. He can still become a great man. Exactly. So we can't say because he needs a father to be a real man. No, because circumstances happen.
And now y'all put it together.
And I'm not gonna lie, there's some men that have kids and can't raise a kid. And there's some men that take on other people's kids just like their own kids.
Yeah, it's
And
vegan.
will never disrespect a woman and lead a happy, normal life. Amazing, so beautifully put together, but he's still not running my life. Well, we probably see running life as a different situation. I mean, I live for my child, okay?
Good.
I live for my child and I'll die for my child.
Should live for your man and die for your man.
Is that well he's my you understand? Listen, we should live for our men and die for our men too, because they will do the same. If you look at the Black Panthers, okay, their movement, and if you saw how their women protected their men, if you see how these women protected their men, you guys will have a different mindset. I'm not saying successful and disrespectful is the same thing. I'm just saying sometimes we as women forget how to speak to our men because they are not emotionally in tune as like we are. Well, maybe to you your son's not running your life, but me, I want the best for my son. So I'm gonna make sure everything I do in my power is for his benefit. Not all the time. Not all the time. That's what I'm saying. But the men respected their women and understood them and let them be a human. Let me tell you something. A lot of men beat women back in the day, you know, and they still stayed around. But men go through things. And I'm not excusing domestic violence. Hell no. Nobody should be putting their hands on anyone. A son need a father and a mother. I agree. But life doesn't always happen like that. People die, you know. People grow without parents. That doesn't determine their destiny. That doesn't stop their purpose on this earth. I'd rather talk to an aggressive man. I'd rather talk to an aggressive man. I mean, I don't see to me, I don't the word aggression is very, it's like overrated. Because people say I'm aggressive when I talk, but I'm very passionate about what I feel. We dominate each other in a good way. If I see something on my man's back, like, babes, that's not cool, that's not right, you know, that's not cool, that's not right. I have your back. And he should do the same for me. And that will get the ancestors slapped out of you. Girl, whatever you feel, hon. That's your opinion. That, like, I have my own opinion. I'm just saying, I don't think Nature Boy is a bad human being. You know, if we, I swear to you, there's people going into countries right now, bombing mothers, kids, and everyone, and don't care just for the minerals of their land. What about those people? We're forgetting about the people that killed all those buffaloes from them red Indians to make them come to them to eat. You know, so if one man says he's God, then just let him be. Let him be. If he can have 5 wives and do for them what he needs to do for them, and they love him and he loves them. Because people forget that, you know, a lot of men in my country as well, black men, are in jail. So more time you're gonna get one man with 3 baby mums or three women that he has kids for.
You teaching.
So why is it any different when he has 5 women in the same house? My child's dad would love to have all of us in the same house living together. It will be easy for him. And he'll probably will be the best dad. But us as women, we're not very open-minded sometimes, you know. We're all about this independent, you know. We're all about this independent. And that's why when you're 50 and 60 and you still don't have a partner, listen, white man's been saying he's Jesus and God for the longest time. But we're not going to get there. We're not going to go there. We're not going to give them that attention. I'm just saying, I've been watching Nature Boy for a while, and I just think, you know, everyone says things that may be misconstrued or you know, they don't mean. But that doesn't mean we should condemn you. Look, whether I have a husband or not, babes, that's nothing to do with you. I'm just saying, okay? Look, a lot of men ain't good with women, but that doesn't mean they can't learn. I mean, Nature Boy didn't grow up with no mum, right? So he had to teach himself how to treat women. Just like I'm saying, there is men that grow up with no dad and they teach themselves to be good men. My finger.
I've had mother figures.
Exactly. And you've picked what you saw fit from them, and that's how you viewed women. But because your mother wasn't there, you know, it was probably a bit more harder for you to understand women.
No.
No? Do you think that you not having a mum made it any different for you?
It made it better for me
In what way?
because most people, moms, are programmed to Babylon. So they force you to do Babylon shit. I had that. It's lentil lasagna. It's lentil bean lasagna. You give me a baby wipe? Give me a baby wipe?
Yes. Anything else?
No. Don't ask me that.
I might and I might not. 19. Why don't you hush? 20. Be quiet. Can't do nothing. 35. Stop. 36. Get out of my face. 37. I don't want to hear that. 38. Get out. 39. I don't care what you do. 40. I'm tired of you. Of course, these are just a sampling. There are others which are more vicious and more degrading, and some too filthy to list in print. It is safe to say that every black man in America has been told at least 2 of these statements in relationship with his woman or his mother. Most have heard the majority of them. These remarks roll off the lips of the black female starting in elementary school, so they are well ingrained in her conversation by the time she is an adult. Rare is there a black man who does not allow the black woman to speak to him in these derogatory terms. No black man should tolerate being spoken to like this. He must demand respect and deserve it according to his own standards of being a man. He must require respect or reject the black woman from his circle of contact. When a black woman loves her black man enough to obey him and do what he tells her to do, she is looked upon by other more progressive, well ingrained in her conversation by the time she is an adult. Rare is there a black man who does not allow the black woman to speak to him in these derogatory terms. No black man should tolerate being spoken to like this. He must demand respect and deserve it according to his own standards of being a man. He must require respect or reject the black woman from his circle of contact. When a black woman loves her black man enough to obey him and do what he tells her to do, she is looked upon by other more progressive black women as a fool. She is laughed at and pitied for letting her man control her and tell her what to do. If she stays at home and waits for his call, cooks him a special meal, cleans his house, washes his car, shines his shoes, irons his clothes, loans him her car, lends or gives him money, runs errands for him, picks up after him, lets him choose her clothes, washes his hair, feeds him, rubs his back, massages his feet, or does anything else to help him or make him comfortable, she is considered a nutcase and accused of spoiling the black man. She is further charged with making it harder on other black women who do not cater to their men in this way. The righteous woman is asked by the rebellious woman, "What's he doing for you while you're doing all this for him?" If the black woman just speaks to him in a civil tongue, she is charged with being weak-willed. Black women pride themselves on being assertive or aggressive and speaking what she thinks is her own mind. When a black woman talks badly to the black man, she is not speaking her own mind. She is speaking from the artificial mind she has adopted from Western civilization, America. This is something she learned first in slavery, then from teachers, politicians, the newspapers, and television. The black woman has no history of speaking disrespectfully to the black man before she came to America.
Nope.
Disrespecting the black man is new to the black nation. It developed in slavery and post-slavery. It is odd that the black woman considers downgrading the black man as advancement in her own development of equality. The black man must not allow his woman or any woman to talk to him in a disrespectful tone or way. He does not deserve it, and he does not have to take it.
Nope.
If, to defend himself, the black man develops a feminine style of sparring with the black woman and tries to go blow for blow with her in insults, bickering, and name-calling, the woman will tell her family and friends that he just bitches all the time. She refers to his participation as bitching because she knows her kind of talk is indicative to the female gender only. She believes it to be a natural part of her nature and wants him to believe that too. He should not. If the black man loses his cool under pressure and responds by flinging a string of colorful metaphors, curse words, at her, she complains that he talks to me like a dog. The fact that she is the one acting like an animal never comes up. Sometimes the black man grows to respond to everything she says in a harsh rebuttal tone. He becomes accustomed to the rough talk and uses it as frequently as she. This is wrong. It only convinces the black woman that he can't handle her, so he has joined her. She will drag him under the earth if he allows it. When a black man falls for a black woman and begins to demonstrate that he loves her more than he loves himself, she recognizes this as a ripe stage for her to really let it rip. The more he professes his love, the worse she will treat him. The more he tries to give her, the more she will demand. And the more he tries to bed her down, the more she rejects his overtures. The harder he tries to please her, the more critical she is of his efforts. This is a perfect example that she does not know what to do when put in a position to rule the black man. When she is allowed to rule, she thinks the black man must be weak or crazy or both. She cannot handle it. She abuses him instead of progressively enjoying him more. And the time is not far off when she will be looking for another man. Sometimes the black woman speaks kindly to the black man or does nice things for him for the wrong reason. Sometimes her reason is just to make sure that he does not fall victim to the attentions of another woman. So she acts out the duties of being a good woman, so her man can't use that as a reason to, quote, fool around. So she goes through the motions so she can never be charged with not holding up her end, or so she thinks. But true caring and affection cannot be faked. If there is no love and good spirit put into the care, it becomes dry and sterile, bland and mechanical. The Black woman must be made to understand that the Black man must first feel good about himself, and that she should help the Black man to feel good about himself when he is with her. That means that when the Black man is happy with the Black woman, it does not necessarily mean he is happy with her physical affection or exciting personality, as much as with how she makes him feel about himself. He will reciprocate. When the Black man is pleased with himself and feels good about himself, his days are happy and he is radiant. He is eager to go off to work and eager to come home at night. In general, he is more productive. This is called satisfaction. Feeling good mentally, emotionally, and physically creates its own natural high. An elevation to peace and freedom and confidence and courage. Anything can be accomplished. All of this is part of the Black woman's responsibility to herself. The blessings she will receive from making her Black man feel good about himself are unlimited. While she has her own ideas about what the Black man should do to make her happy, she would be much wiser if she gave the Black man a chance to express his ideas about what will make her happy. A Black man can look at his woman and decide what she needs. Black women have been known to treat the Black man so badly and to talk to him in such a destructive way that he becomes confused and angry and is literally driven to drink or use drugs. She will prod him with her electrical shock tongue until she pushes him over the edge into some deep, dark cavern of despair. When she tells her friends about his condition, they all agree that he got what he deserves for letting her do it to him. It is their preconceived notion that if a Black man resigns himself to obeying the Black woman to the point of self-debasement, he deserves whatever hell awaits him. This is a cruel and unusual punishment that he earns as a reward for having the kind of overwhelming adoration of the Black woman that she claims she wants. She only wants it until she gets it, and then she reverts to a destroyer. She will lead him into a trap by plotting to do everything she can to make him fall in love with her. She will make him feel better than he has ever felt in his entire life. At least she makes him think he does. She will make him totally dependent upon her affections and attentions. She will set him up for the fall. It's a game to her to see if she can make or break him. As the game progresses, she steps up her plan to debase him, and sometimes the change of tide is so powerful in his life that he can't concentrate enough to work, eat, sleep, or behave normally. She literally drives him crazy. He cannot live with her and cannot live without her. The more love, the more pain, and she keeps it by the shovelful. This is a dangerous game the Black woman plays because sometimes if the man cannot handle it emotionally, he may decide to kill her. Sometimes he does. When he reaches his breaking point and becomes threatening, she scurries back in place and claims she doesn't know what's wrong with him. She accomplishes these same deeds using jealousy, sex, or rebellion. While he explodes, she implodes, and she hates herself for not being able to control herself. Therefore, the Black man should never allow his love for the Black woman to surpass his love for himself. This is not being selfish. It is a raw necessity if he intends to survive his relationship with the Black woman. He must never let her ego get out of control to the point where she becomes the main focus in the relationship. The black man must always be the main focus of the relationship. This does not mean that the black woman's needs should not be met, nor that she is unimportant, but she is number 2, and the black man is number 1. The black man being number 1, and the black woman being... nor that she is unimportant, but she is number 2, and the black... is love for himself.
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's Steve.
This is not being selfish. It is a rawness, sex, or rebellion. While he explodes, she implodes, and she hates herself for not being able to control herself. Therefore, the black man should never allow his love for the black woman to surpass his love for himself. This is not being selfish. It is a raw necessity if he intends to survive his relationship with the black woman. He must never let her ego get out of control to the point where she becomes the main focus in the relationship. The black man must always be the main focus of the relationship. This does not mean that the black woman's needs should not be met, nor that she is unimportant, but she is number 2, and the black man is number 1. The black man being number 1 and the black woman being number 2 is another absolute law of nature. The black man was created first, he has seniority, and the black woman was created second. He is first, she is second. The black man is the beginning, and all others come from him. Everyone on earth knows this, except the black woman. The only reason the black woman rejects the idea that the black man is first is because she does not think that he deserves to be treated good. If examined, she does not really know the details of why she does not want him on top. All she knows is that she doesn't want him telling her what to do. She already knows that try as she may, she cannot control the black man. Her frustration is that no matter how hard she tries, she cannot force the black man into the orderly pattern mold she outlines for him. The black man, even in his disorganized state, cannot be controlled. He is not controllable. This is different from being out of control. This means he is in control of himself. Others who have tried to control him momentarily meet with the same frustration as the black woman. Failure. The black woman, like America, is afraid of anything she can't control. The black man's chromosomes evidently are programmed to rule and be in control, so he cannot submit to being controlled forever by inferior, unqualified beings. Wise scientists around the globe know this. Infrequently, the black woman comes up with a good idea or renders some sensible advice to the black man. Whether or not he accepts it depends on how she brings it to him. If she does it as non-insulting, respectful, the black man is able to hear her and take her comments under consideration. If she delivers the information in the wrong tone of voice, the man rejects it and her. He must be careful in accepting instructions or advice from a black woman because she is easily confused and will decide that he can't make it unless she tells him what to do. Making recommendations is her insidious way of gaining control in a relationship. If the black woman is sincere in her affections and is genuinely trying to help the black man, he will be able to accept what she says and implement it into their lives for wider success. Of course, when the black woman helps the black man develop and reach his desired potential, she experiences fear that he will outgrow her and leave her for another woman. She does not trust his motives when he wants to expand. When he says, "I'm doing this for us," She is not sure which us he is talking about. She may remind him about what she has helped him do and that he would not have been able to do it if it were not for her. She is ever seeking opportunities to get the black man to bow down and worship her for being her wonderful self. When she accomplishes something free of ulterior motive, her man will recognize this and pile on the accolades. But if her idea is anything but clean, then he shouldn't get too excited. She has heard stories of women who help their men succeed and then he leaves them. So she is afraid this will happen to her. If she behaves right and does not create problems or become combative, she will be well rewarded for her trust. She will be taken care of and loved, and her children will be fathered and become heir to the black man's accomplishments. This is how black legacies are made. Another reason the black woman fails in her confrontations with the black man is because she attempts to use the white woman's analysis and social priorities as her mentor regarding how she should get along with the black man. This is wrong. White American issues are completely different from black American issues. The white race understands the necessity for open forum discussion of their relationship problems. Blacks are sensitive about the defects in black life and fly into a tizzy at the mere mention of interpersonal problems indigenous to ex-slaves. This refusal to acknowledge the nitty-gritty problems have resulted in them being ignored and assumed unimportant. Even worse, if left, the black woman and the black man to devise their own solutions, blacks have no published scholastic analogies about how the black man and the black woman should get along. The inside story of life between black man and black woman has been tiptoed around as if it were a time bomb. These problems exist and they are monumental. They hold the key to the black man and the black woman's personal success. A problem is only a question. Any problem can be broken into a mathematical equation to which a formula is applied. If the formula is applied, the answer will be forthcoming. The answer is the solution. Blacks have not approached their problems from a mathematical standpoint and assume there are too many variables for similarities to exist. But there are similarities. The relationship problems between black men and black women are only different in the degree to which they are demonstrated. And blacks have never honestly and descriptively addressed these problems to the black nation as a whole. The truth about the depth and span of these problems is painful. This truth is also embarrassing and unwelcome for public scrutiny. But the black man has been negligent in his duty to control the black woman, and the black woman has been scandalous in our public and private dealings with the black man and his offspring. The time is past when this topic can be swept aside and replaced with other life priorities that are impossible to attain anyway, until the root of this situation is addressed and remedied. Relationship standards have changed, but change does not always mean better. Sometimes it just means different or worse. Companionship between the black man and the black woman has turned into a living hell, whether they live together or not. The hell has a pattern and affects the dwellers of every black household, and it must stop. The black man must communicate this to the black woman, and she must hear him with ears and her heart. In referring to the black man, the black woman has an affinity to use the terminology, my man, and she prefers to call the black man her boyfriend, my date, my honey, my friend, or my beau. She has a difficult time saying my man because she does not like the sound of power that goes with the word man. The word man makes her uncomfortable because it rings so superior and authoritative in her ears. As a consequence, Black women in the 30s and 40s and 50s go around referring to the black man as a boyfriend. The black man is not a boy. He does not like being called a boy. It is a distasteful title he prefers not to answer to. The black woman in her stubbornness still calls him her boyfriend. She should refer to her black mate as her man, because that's what he is, a man. The language itself is euphoric. When the black woman speaks well of the black man, it is elevating to all who hear her, and it is contagious. Better yet, the black woman should try telling the black man good things about himself to his face, looking him straight in the eyes. She must learn a new talk, dialogue filled with complimentary words. The black man should commend the black woman when he sees her demonstrating an attempt to make a positive change in the way that she talks to him. At first, she will be very uncomfortable and uneasy and will feel out of kilter, but these feelings will subside as she relaxes. Prior to her giving in, she may try to use a reverse psyche and say, "Why should I do it? You don't." Or, "You don't live up to such and such yourself." Or, "What are you going to change if I do all that?" Or, "Look at what you do." These kinds of flippant comments can be answered by telling her, "I'm a black man and I'm taking responsibility for my family and my nation." Responses like, "'Cause I'm the man and I'm in charge," or "'cause I'm the boss here," or "'cause I'm the man and you're gonna be like I want you to be or you ain't gonna be at all," work just as well. Improvise. The black man should not be ashamed to admit that he does not have all the answers all at once. On examination, the black woman does not have all the answers either. She usually does not have any of the answers. She will be resistant against the man's ideas and not have anything to replace them with. She communicates most of her responses by saying the word no. When an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, friction ensues and they destruct. This does not apply to the black man. The black nation must implement across the board standards of home life that encompass every black person and every black family. The plan must be the same throughout in order to see unified progress. The result of not having a national formal plan useful to all the people is the confusion and degradation we have today. The black woman's first change can be an oral one. She must learn enough self-control to keep herself from talking to the black man like he ain't nothing. Many times the black woman will refuse to cater to the black man because she claims he wants a mama or he has a mother complex. They make these charges because many black men want consolation. They want to be consoled, and there is nothing weak or lacking in them for wanting this. The black woman's job is to be a consoler. Console means to give comfort, solace, and to make feel better, less sad. The job of the mother and the wife when it comes to consolation is the same. It is not different or opposite. It is the same expression that should be shown to the black man and the black child, no matter what age they are. Consoling is a female duty, and one she is good at. Consolation and stroking are a necessary means of communication, just as the desire for acceptance and approval, love and agreement. Giving consolation is not mothering or wifing, it is womaning. Providing comfort to the nation instead of ramshackling it. Black women withhold comfort for a variety of reasons and meter it out as they feel it is deserved. The black man who commits what the black woman considers a sin is not able to get consoled. Any failure that makes her feel disappointed is not rewarded with consolation. Of course, When a black man fails, his greatest desire is to be consoled instead of hearing, I told you it wouldn't work anyway, or you shouldn't have known that wouldn't work, or why don't you stop and just get a job? The black man is a recovering slave and does not need a woman who is constantly saying that he doesn't amount to much. He is something good. And if the black woman talks to him right, supports him, and consoles him, he will heal and show the world how really great he is. But since he is virtually alone, abandoned, and disregarded, he does not always have the spirit to go to work. He needs a purpose. The black woman is unaware that this is the major continent where the black woman is out of control, where she has rejected her responsibilities and does not recognize the man as the head of the family. Again, the memory of the suffering of slavery takes its toll. Slavery was designed to disconnect the black man and the black woman. Today, we see long-term effects of the disconnection on American soil. Some black women are so removed from these types of historical roots that they blame all of their problems on the other victim of this racial conspiracy, the black man. They are more concerned with dressing, jewelry, politics, sororities, church, public opinion, and their job. It seems the black woman who boasts of holding the most prestigious job title is the most difficult to reach. The so-called successful black woman who earns a gargantuan paycheck believes she is the best with all her bases loaded. She doesn't realize that her choices leave her lonely and hostile and disliked by the group she longs to impress the most, black men. Or she may say she is having more fun without a man than she had with one. Not true. There is no such existence for the black woman. She is not complete unless she has a man. She is just a coward who does not want to deal with the black man on his terms. And she is at her wit's end to devise a scheme that will make him surrender to her. She has a boss complex and exaggerates her worth. She's cute and necessary, but she is not more valuable than the black man. No one is. The black woman, deep inside her heart, wants to surrender, but she wants to be coerced. She wants to be convinced, according to her own barometer, that her man really, really loves her. Right now, the only barometer she examines is whether or not her man is seeing another woman. When she is unsure of herself and teetering on making a wrong decision about something, she wants the black man to take charge of the situation and take responsibility for her. It is very difficult for the black woman to have constant confidence in her own decisions because she knows she doesn't see the road clearly. She is unequipped to lead in that way. So in her life travels, she tries to look at everything at the same time instead of recognizing the clear path. Things look different according to the point of view they are seen by. Perception is the root of what the eyes see and the ears hear. If the black woman would just change her perception of what submission and surrender means, she could have peace. She cannot have this peace until the black man takes up the banner of change. It is a massive undertaking that only the wise will survive, but only the wise will survive anyway. Those who can see no further than Gucci or Panasonic will not make it. Material gain will not and has not solved the problems between the black man and the black woman. They serve only as a temporary distraction, an expensive one. Chapter 7, Family Relationships. The family relationships of the black woman must be examined if the black man desires to know what circumstances and personalities produced her. If her parents and siblings were hellraisers fighting and arguing all the time, the black man can be sure it will be a rocky road living with her. The black woman can only live what she knows, And there is no magic to a wedding ceremony or marriage certificate that will instantaneously correct her ideas about how life should be lived. Her home life and prior relationships with men during her childhood will have great bearing on how she treats her husband. Human behavior is the result of training, repetitive instructions, and familiarity of environment. The black woman is known to take her family's side against the black man if push comes to shove. If a member of her family does not like her man, she will often ask the man to be nicer to that particular relative so the relative will form a better opinion and accept him. She is more apt to concede that if a family member dislikes him, there must be some legitimate reason than to stick up for her black man and try to get her family to change. She is easily swayed by her family to believe that her man's faults are so visible that everyone he contacts can spot them. She also has the tendency to try to force the black man to live up to the requirements of her family. She will consult them, confide in them, and take their advice. Sometimes she will refrain from making a decision on her own until she checks with her family. Many of them consult their family on every instruction the black man gives. She is known to take her family's advice on everything from keeping house to bedroom protocol. Sometimes, if the black woman is angry with the black man, her family will adopt the same attitude and side with her against him without even knowing his side. The black woman also has a tendency to take sides with her mother against her father. After all, he is still just another man. The black man is generally thought of as wrong no matter what the topic, especially if he is not doing something the black woman wants him to do and does not have an acceptable reason for abstaining. The black woman extends these same privileges to her girlfriends. The relationships with her friends are of vast priority and importance because she can count on them to give her sympathy and understanding about her problems at home. Black women lie for each other when it comes to covering up or supporting a story to the black man, and they feel no guilt about it. It's another club rule. It is a given among black women that some things cannot be presented or discussed in front of a black man. They call this girl talk. The men prefer to call it what it is: gossip. They will stay on the phone for hours discussing and debating other people's problems. They will yak around the clock. But there is another level of conversation that the black man does not hear and does not know exists. Most of this is classified as some more girl talk, but it is of a more vile nature, and filthy language and references are exclusively reserved for the discussion of black men. This conversation is protected from the ears of the black man because black women know the subject matter would shock and appall him. It is during this conversation that black women laugh at and make fun of the black man and brag about the successes of their tricks played on him. They laugh at how he talks, walks, dresses, what he does for a living, and how he performs in bed. All black men get grouped together during these sessions, and they have no special loyalty to any man, whether he is their husband or not. The black woman has perfected the art of deception, and she can fool the black man into thinking she admires something, and then later on with the girl she may go back and tell them what a fool he is. Whenever the black man manages to win an argument, get his way, or make the black woman submit to something, she calls in the troops to discuss the problem and get advice on how to handle it. The worst result is that she will have to admit the black man is right, so she searches and researches among other women until she finds a solution. She stops at nothing to prove him wrong. It may be days later, but she will not drop the issue until she gets him to admit he made a mistake or doesn't know something. They will also devise very intricate and deceptive tests among their friends or relatives. They believe themselves to be the ultimate test givers, and the black man's actions under the rules of the test determine the grade he receives. She will set the black man up to see if he will respond to the sexual advances of another woman. She may use a family member or a friend he doesn't know. Whatever the appointed actress reports is what the black woman will believe. She naturally believes a woman who claims that her man tried to seduce her or made a pass at her. This confirms the suspicions she has had all the while, and all hell breaks loose. The black man is so trusting that he is surprised that they actually set him up. He must remember that he cannot trust her. Left to her own warped devices, she will create confusion and put the black man in hell about it by blaming him. She cannot be trusted, nor can her motives be trusted until she is trained, and she is hard to train to behave properly. Sometimes the entire family structure is tainted with wrong ideas and wrong treatment of the black man. Her family will show misplaced loyalty to her by using the principles that blood is thicker than mud, men will be men, and a nigger ain't. These principles are not always at work in his family, but the black woman is perfectly comfortable saying negative things about the black man to his mother, who also belongs to the Black Women's Secret Allegiance Club. Sometimes the mother will agree with the daughter-in-law, be sympathetic, and tell her how to handle him. All black women are familiar with the experience of trying to get a black man to do something, and he refuses to do it. Therefore, all of them understand the predicament of trying to live with a defiant black man, the one who is a hindrance to the happiness of the black woman. While black women believe that they would change if the black man would, they use the excuse that since he won't change, they won't either. This attitude drains the lifeblood out of the black nation. The black man has a proven history of being in charge of his woman and his nation, and he does not have to be ashamed of his nature just because the black woman claims she can't follow him. She is the loser in this. The mystery, intrigue, and suspense the black woman perpetrates must stop. She uses behavioral modification techniques on the black man to force him to go along with her ideas about how he and she should be. Her ideas are clouded by Western society ideas, but she thinks that her opinions and ideas come from herself. They do not. As a result of not having any ties to her cultural roots, she is open to any and all suggestions from any other race. She thinks that how she is natural, and that her ideas are from a sequence of mathematical events which have evolved to produce who and what she is today. No nation can rise when the natural order of the behavior of the male and the female have been altered against their wishes by force. No species can survive if the female of the genus disturbs the balance of her nature by acting other than herself. The black woman does not accept the real definition of who she is. She thinks that she has several choices of how she can be. She chooses randomly, and if her choice proves to be unsuccessful, she chooses another. She may adopt several kinds of lifestyles and purposes during her adult tenure. She changes religions and opinions as easily as she changes her shoes. She does not realize that her floundering purposes destroy her nation and create unstable offspring. No family can be successful if all the members have different beliefs and value systems. There must be agreement on the unity of purpose and goals. The purpose must describe the principles by which the family will reach the goals. What blacks have in their family relationships now makes for disconnection and scattered family ties where there are no overall laws which are respected by all the members. Thus, the black woman, being the first teacher of the family members, since they are all born of a woman, must instill in the family children unified training and rules. There are some black women, as a result of emotionally traumatic childhoods, who do not get along well with their parents, especially their mother. They have been known to talk to her very disrespectfully and treat her badly. They are inconsiderate to her wishes and desires and have become so used to talking to her roughly that they do so in front of other people who may be shocked and outraged that a daughter would treat her own mother in such an awful way. Many of these women are frustrated and blame their mothers for being the reason they are so confused and or unsuccessful in their adult relationships. Others treat them badly because they think they are in the way and try to butt into their business too much. No matter what the reason, no Black woman should treat her mother, the one who brought her in the world, with disrespect. Albeit there may be just cause for the adult daughter to feel regret or hostilities, it is not right to verbally or physically abuse old people. Many older Blacks are financially unable to support themselves, are too ill to live alone, or just desire to be with their grown-up children. When it is possible, the older parents should be allowed to have quarters in the same house, nearby, or even in the attic or basement of the home of their children if they have no place else to go. Extended family members should not be rejected as useless because they are growing older, have ailments, or do not want to live alone. Neither should the Black woman hassle the Black man because he treats his mother better than she treats hers. Lifelong disagreements should be discussed and settled, with the Black man being the arbitrator if necessary. The Black woman can have no real peace in her own life as she is carrying unresolved hostilities or grudges against her own mother. This also goes for her relationship with her father. Often Black women who grew up without a father head in the house, or who grew up overhearing her mother defame her father's name, or who saw activities she deciphered as bad treatment against her mother by her father, do not know how to live with a Black man in peace. She brings a hidden agenda to the relationship of distrust and sometimes hate for all men, which may be deeply rooted in her childhood experiences with her own father or other menfolk in her household. A Black woman who was raised in a broken home environment has no masculine mentor by which to pattern her behavior towards her own man. In this kind of situation, the only example she has of how to treat a man comes from television, movies, books, and magazines, plus her friends' experiences. She will have a tumultuous time adjusting to living with a man daily and treating him properly. She will be defensive, secretive, and suspicious. She will also be combative when challenged on her actions towards her man. She will also have a difficult time raising her sons and daughters because she will not know how to teach them their proper and natural roles in life. Try as she may, unless she is given new instructions and information from another source, she will revert eventually to her own mother's behavior traits, even if she currently deplores the way her mother raised her. It is all she knows. By the time she studies, listens, and learns how to behave to make her relationship successful or raise her children properly, it is often too late. The relationship with the man may be irretrievably damaged, and the children may be grown. In addition to the wasted lifetime spent fighting against her man, she will be sending her own children off into the world, ill-prepared to get along with their mates. Thus, the perpetuation of an inherited culture of family maladjustment is passed from one generation to the next, and problems of not knowing how to mate successfully
What they talking
are
about?
then compounded by racism. All of these habits result in the Black community being disorganized because none of the inhabitants know what they should be doing or why.